Hello and welcome back to the end of another week. I'm out on the north side by the well and the weather's finally cooled down today. It was like 105-ish, which was just ridiculously hot, but now it's not so bad. I got my herbicide and sprayed, so you can kind of see where I sprayed because it's starting to turn yellow. So that'll take a while to fully kick in, but when it is done, then we'll probably just take the brûler, the torch, and torch everything that's dead. The carport looks like a disaster. However, this week we did get our déchetterie card, so that's the card that now is needed to go to all the dumps to dump our stuff. So we'll be able to start going to the dump again for that. I also went up with his mom to the Spanish border to check out the ventas. I forgot to take too many photos, but I'll throw some photos in of that space. It's basically just like, I don't know, like pretty much a giant shopping area, like those Gilroy outlets or whatever. So you go there for shopping and that's it. The car over there, we got the control technique done, which out here is basically the equivalent of smog, except for it's like smog on steroids. So it passed, which is great. So now there's a few other things that we want to do before we sell it, but the idea is to sell that car because this is my manual version, and I've decided that I'm going to keep the manual. So that happened, that's happening. The wine barrels got moved here because I'm prepping to cut them in half. I screwed in some screws to reinforce the bands so that they don't fall when I cut them and then open them up. But over here, this bad boy didn't have a cork, and the European hornets decided it would be great to start making a nest in there. So Francis and I had to deal with that earlier this week. Earlier this week, we also went up to Montmarsan to get my 2-year residency card. So I am officially allowed to stay here for another 2 years. And then in 2 years, we have to jump through all the hoops again to prove that we're still married and living together and all that fun stuff. What else happened? I got some plants on Friday, so I might throw in a photo of those, but unfortunately it's been two days of heat wave. So I decided I wasn't going to torture them by planting them out in that kind of weather. However, I did get some Frederick passion fruit plants, and the idea is that one will go here to grow on the fence, and the other one is actually going to go in the strawberry bed along this post at the bottom. I might have to clear out some space for it, but it'll grow there and grow along the fence there. Later, I want to get some of the little kiwis to put over there. I may have mentioned before that I actually bought all of these things from another site and then actually found out that it was a bogus site, and I had to go through the charge company and get a refund and all that jazz. So that was annoying. But now I've reordered plants from another site that's more reputable. Those plants have arrived, and I will be planting them out next week. Some of the plants are parsley because we go through a lot of parsley, and I have like little baby parsleys that are coming up in here, but they take like 4 months to really mature. So I bought 3 mature parsley plants, which I will probably end up planting in this bed here, where I also planted some seeds, but they're not coming up. 2 of the plants are thornless cascading blackberries, which sound pretty cool. And I'm thinking about planting them here with the idea that they can cascade over the raised bed. And that could be pretty cool. And since they're thornless, they're not going to be like snagging clothes and things of that nature. The beds are growing in super well. Despite the blight, we're getting a lot of tomatoes. So you can kind of see well, I harvested today, but there's definitely tomatoes. I must have messed up in my labeling, because these were all supposed to be moneymaker tomatoes, which are like these larger ones. Those ones got eaten by worms. But these larger ones are the moneymaker tomatoes. But in here, there's actually a ton of obviously cherry tomatoes, like these, definitely cherry tomatoes. And I thought maybe at first they were moneymaker tomatoes that just got stressed out and so they only grew tiny. But I'm now pretty convinced that those are actually my super sweet 100 cherry tomatoes. So I have no idea what I did, but I did something and mislabeled my tomatoes. So I'll have to get more organized next year. Let's see, what else happened? Okay, I'm interjecting to show you the chandelier because I forgot to mention that we got that up. It looks really nice. And we also got some furniture for the salon. So we're ready to host. I've been experimenting with fermentation. So I bought myself some ginger because I think I mentioned I tried growing ginger and it failed epically. So I bought some ginger and I made a ginger bug. I fermented a ginger bug and I'm attempting to use said ginger bug to make ginger beer. It was bubbling really well and then now it's not bubbling so much. So I'm not really sure if the ginger beer is going to be bubbly, but hopefully it'll taste okay anyway, even if it ends up basically just being ginger juice. I love ginger and it's a learning experience. So we'll see what happens there. Things to come. Francis is on vacation for 2 weeks starting tomorrow, so that's cool. I did order the chicken, the wire chicken pen because it went on sale. And since I was planning on ordering it anyway, I went ahead and did it because I saved some money. So that should be coming in a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, it doesn't really correspond with Francis's holiday vacation, but it is what it is. I got this little like thing set up for the cucumbers. The little cucamelons are growing up there. Yeah, the edamame's coming in. So yeah, I mean things are doing their thing out here. And at this point it's like, you know, middle of August or whatever, so it's pretty much reaching the end of the season. I'm going to keep trying to plant some radishes and carrots and more parsley, because those are at least kind of winter hardy. The tomatoes, these are all indeterminate, so like I'm chopping, well, I thought they were all indeterminate, so I've been, pruning them as indeterminates, not realizing that I had cherry tomatoes in there. But at this point, I'm basically topping everybody and forcing them to just focus on getting the fruits ready. This bed was done later, but like we would definitely have lots of flowers coming up. And I think I actually saw some tomatoes in here too. Yeah, so like down there we have some tomatoes along with all the blight leaves that I need to cut off. Yeah, so that's it. I think that's about all that's happened this week. We're gonna take it easy, I think, for his holiday. I know he has promised to cut the grass for me, so I'm looking forward to that. But otherwise, I mean, it is his holiday, his vacation time, so I'm trying not to stress him out too much with a bunch of honeydew projects. But once we get things hacked down, then I can actually start mapping out the trees and getting spaces prepped for that. So crickets are out. It's late. I'm tired. It's still hot. So the sun has set, and I will see you next week. Bye.